was like, dude, what the fuck? He's like, oh man, you're gonna be high. That was like 20 or 30 hits of acid, man. So we got this 2001 Toyota Sienna, right, V6. Good van, good deal on it. But here, I've been watching some tutorials on YouTube about how to change the rear spark plugs. As you see, the front three are right here, right? And the back three are way back here behind this intake manifold. So you can only access them through like this little cubby hole, which obviously you're gonna have to move some shit, you know, or back here. Now, some people, you can say, you know, you have to remove the intake manifold and the throttle body, or just the throttle body. More popular way is just to remove this cowl here, right? So you can get your arm back there behind it. And then there's even one creative way, which I'm going to try and see if it works, because I believe it does. It's to rock this thing, right? And when you're rocking it, it's going forward in park. Slam on the e-brake, you know, when the thing is off, and apparently the momentum will shift the motor up just like maybe an inch, you know, given these motor mounts and stuff, which I would loosen at least that one, because that one's easy, and give it a shot, maybe even this one down here. I don't know, because if I could rock this fucker and give myself an extra inch to get my hand back there, I would. But I really don't think I'm gonna need to, though. I think it's just a matter of tools. I think just with the right tools, you might be able to, as another guy's video said. So I've got like every type of extendable, ratcheted, you know, collapsible, bendable socket you can think of now with all the wobbly extensions and shit. If I can't get to it, you know, I'm not that big of a guy, I'm average sized hands, but if I can't get to it with the tools that I got, I'm gonna have to call bullshit on the guy who said you could. But I don't know, he was an aircraft mechanic, so who knows. But yeah, for the, you know, everyday mechanic, a little bit more skilled than most. I did work for Firestone for a few years, but that was like a million years ago. But my tool selection is pretty slim, just, you know, out of Harbor Freight shit, AutoZone shit. So we'll see how it goes. Okay, so with the plastic covering off, you can see a little bit better, a lot better actually. So here are the three front plugs. This is 2, 4, 6. So back there, as you can kind of see the end, the top of the coil pack on number 5. So basically, I'm going to try to do this without removing anything. Well, I'm going to have to remove some of these vacuum lines, but like without removing anything mechanical that's bolted down, like this intake manifold or this throttle body or this cowl. If I got to do one, I guess I'm going to remove the cowl. Kind of don't want to mess with the throttle body. I mean, that would be ideal, I guess, but it seems everybody's moving the cowl, so I think that may be the way to go. I'm definitely going to try to rock this engine though. That's what they said. If you push it and rock it while it's in park, you know, and slam on the e-brake when it's leaning forward, when it's starting to go forward, it'll shift the motor about, you know, 3/4 of an inch or so, which will give you enough room to get your hand right here. Because this right back here is how you can access it, or you have to access through here, right? Maybe over here. So even if it's just 3/4 inch, that's you know, when it's this small of a space, that's, you know, that can make the difference. I got a feeling I have to remove the cowl, which isn't the end of the world. But I'll start with these first 3. I'm just gonna probably fast forward through all this shit because, you know, pretty much to, you know, remove these, if you guys don't know, these coil packs, 10 millimeters, bam, bam, bam. These are clips. You kind of don't want to break them. You kind of like squeeze them, and they oftentimes will break. So you just kind of be careful. Watch, I'm probably gonna break one, so I'm showing you how to, you know, and just pull it out. You know, you can get like a little pick and kind of easily pry up the end here as you squeeze on this and pull. But if you're just trying to squeeze this and jerk it off, you know, they're old. You know, this is a 20-year-old car. They'll probably break. You have to get creative. So yeah, 10 millimeters. Boom, take these coils out. And I bought new ones, and I bought some Denso Iridium long life plugs, which I think are the factory replacement for the original NGK long life plugs, or laser iridiums. So I've changed these and I put some platinums in them, and but now I'm going to go with the iridiums because I need to change back 3. And yeah, the original ones that came out of here had, I'm pretty sure they were the originals. Maybe, I don't know, they were Densos, but Denso's long life. But man, they had they were pretty burnt, So I'll get back to you. I'll take off this motor mount, or at least loosen it. so that when I rock this thing, it'll be that much easier. And I might even loosen this bottom one. And I'm gonna give it a shot and see if I can get away with not having to unbolt the cowl and shit like that one guy did in his video, which I'll give shout outs in the descriptions. But yeah, we'll see. I'm thinking actually about parking down on a hill, on an incline, and trying it like that, rocking, and then, you know, having it park on a hill going down, and see if that'll help give me a little bit more than 3/4 of an inch. Because yeah, if that back component back there can come forward a little bit, I think we're in business. So after looking at this job here, what I'm working with, man, here's what I got for tools, because I'm planning on not removing anything. This is all from Harbor Freight. Got these wobbly extensions, different lengths, a wobble end, so they kind of do one of these things, you know, give you a little bit more play. Got this, which I think is going to be helpful, except it's really long. This ratchet here. This ratchet here, it goes sideways and it locks. So you can lock in a position like that. I think this one's probably going to be my favorite guy. And this guy's a little stubby. Fine tooth, so if you're in a tight spot. These guys, you know, these heads on these sockets, or these socket wrenches come down. Socket wrenches come down. They're angled, so you can angle them and they stay angled. So that is going to be key too. So yeah, and then the wobbly extensions, of course. So if I can't get it with this shit, you know, I'm going to be taking stuff apart. But I believe I'm going to be able to. But see, here's the thing, right? These cost like, you know, I think 17 bucks. I think these were like 12 bucks. These are like 6. So, you know, I'm already invested in about, and this is 20. You know, I'm investing about 50 bucks for the tools already, right? But it is Harbor Freight, and they're pretty good about returning shit. So I'm gonna be returning most of this shit. You know, I mean, I might keep this one. I don't know, this one's kind of cool. But yeah, I'm gonna be returning most of this stuff to get my money back, because at 50 bucks, you know, you gotta kind of like, you just pay somebody to do this. But now we'll see how it goes, and I'll let you know which ones work and which cylinders, because based on the other videos I've watched, yeah, the number 1 is going to be a pain in the ass. I went ahead and got new coils too. Figure if I'm going to be back there, you know, this car has 210,000 miles on it. Figure it's time to change coils too. I'd recommend it if it has high miles, anything more than 100,000. Okay, got number 6 out. Number 6 plug just going through the side here, and this hole for the throttle body, which has been pretty much what I'm doing exclusively. I want to try to rock this motor because I can see why people want to get their hand up in here behind this. You know, I only really had a hard time getting the connector off. That was the hardest part. Definitely the small extensions are a must. I used this guy with the wobble joint and the wobble extension. So I mean, oh, and the wobble head. I mean, he's just like a, look at that, limp noodle thing. You know, and you're also going to want a fine tooth ratchet. This guy was a little long, so I would like got in with him, and I would alternate with this little stubby one, but both fine tooth ratchets. You know, put a little tape on the inside of here. You know, rolled it on itself so it'd stay in there, so I could get the spark plug out because it's hard to get out. Yeah, so I mean, I think well, so far that one, I mean, that's only number 6, right? Was able to be done with just these guys, just that setup right there. Well, not that 14 on there, but yeah, just the setup. And I was able to get the connector off with just squeezing it. What I did is I actually took the 10 millimeter bolt off first, so that I could pick up the coil with the connector still connected on it, so that I could have a little bit more play instead of it being bolted down. And then I was able to kind of finagle it by pressing the clip down and using a flathead over there to kind of like, you know, try to press it off. It's just, I mean, it's tight. It's a tight fit and you can't see, so you got to go by feel. So, you know, it took me quite a while. It took probably like 10-15 minutes just to get the connector off. But yeah, I mean, this number 6 wasn't bad, but this one, I'm working on I'm sorry, not number 6. Number 5 wasn't bad. I'm working on number 3. And again, it's just connectors are hard to get off. But yeah, I'll let you know what I do. I'm probably going to end up using the same contraption here. You know, just a combination of wobbly extensions and different size fine tooth ratchets, I would definitely go for those for sure. This guy's a little long, but I like the fact that his head swivels too. So I'll let you know. All right, so I'm gonna try to rock this thing. What I did is I loosened this, I took that bolt out right there, right, for this motor mount. That one's loosened, but that one's out. So I'm not gonna mess with these ones down here. I just don't have the desire to get jiggy with these motor mounts at all. So I'm gonna rock it though. I did already, and I just want to confirm that it actually worked. So I'm gonna try. I'm getting my hand back here now, just so I can kind of get an idea of how much space I got. Okay. Yeah, it kind of makes sense in principle. I think it does work because I did it, but I didn't do it really hard. But I'm gonna try it again a little bit better now that I have an idea of how to do it. I do believe it went forward a little, but so if you're rocking it right and park right, when you're going back and forth as it goes forward like this and park, where it goes on its forward momentum, then hit the e-brake at the very end. And what it'll do, because it's in park, is it'll twist the motor and tranny just a little bit, like I don't know, maybe an inch if you're lucky. We'll see. Okay, I rocked this guy. Let's see. That time it didn't work that well. The other time it did though, yeah, it works. I'm gonna do it again because I have faith that this works. This is my first time. Oh wait a minute, it has. Okay, yeah, it has worked a little bit, but I'm gonna do it again. So the rocking does work. Alright, so the update. Was I able to do it without removing anything? Was I able to do it, and how did I do it? By rocking the motor? I did have to remove something. I'll show you exactly what I removed. These are the only things that I removed. I removed, obviously, the plastic shroud, right? I removed this one little vacuum hose, right? This little guy right here. This guy, right? Remove that. And I removed the PCV hose. This guy, right here. Right? I just disconnected it from the bottom and the top. I removed the whole thing. That's it. So, yeah, that's it. Yay vacuum hose, right there. Sorry, this guy. And the PCV hose, which is, oh, I'm sorry, I just pointed that one. Is this thing? No, I'm sorry. I only removed the PCV hose, which was, shit. It's hard for me to see it with the camera. Oh. It's right back here. Right here. This guy. I moved this one. Yeah, I left that top one alone. Yeah, I just moved that bottom PCV hose. Right there, the pattern one. Right there. So I moved that PCV hose, the shroud, and that little vacuum hose. And the rocking worked, guys, although I improved on his methods a little bit. I noticed when I rocked it, it did give you close to an inch. Which, since you're gonna be doing this. You're gonna be hugging this motor a lot, right? Like, I was out here hugging this motor so long that my girlfriend got jealous, right? She came out here and yelled at me. So you're gonna be putting your hand through here to get with the tool, right? And you're gonna be putting your other hand through here and up top around the manifold up here, which is hard to do unless this can come forward. This is why they removed the cowl right here, right? But you really don't even need to remove this. I mean, you gotta weigh out your time though. I mean, I didn't remove the cowl, I didn't remove anything, that's all I removed. What I did is I rocked the motor like I saw in that one video, except I also removed this. I moved this motor mount, this torque mount, whatever they call it, that dog bone. I moved that because it kind of seems to, figure that the thing will go a little bit further if you remove that. So I did. I was right. Instead of like, 3/4 of an inch like that one guy got, I got like an inch and a half. So I improved on his method some, but mad props to him because I would have never thought of this myself. So fuck removing the intake manifold, fuck removing the throttle body, fuck removing the cowl. The only thing I can say about the cowl is removing the cowl and all that shit only takes half an hour to take off to put back, and another half an hour to put back together. If it only takes an hour total investment, it might be worth it if it gives you a lot more clearance. I was able to do a pretty good job, but again, I was hugging this motor. I mean, I had, my face was firmly planted right here with my arms, on each side, but I did it. The hardest parts were the clips. For the clips, I just use a little pick tool. You know, I looked at how the clips were on here, and I'll show you real quick. Because this actually did make a difference when I figured this out. I didn't do it right at first. I was like, it took a little time. I'm missing the bolts in the front, whatever. So on these clips, right here, right? I put in new coils too, just because I don't want to do this again. These clips, right? You basically just squeeze, right? You just squeeze these here, bam, on the end here. You can squeeze these, and theoretically they come right off, right? Like that. These are brand new, right? Okay, after 20 years old, it doesn't work like that. When you squeeze this, right, it still doesn't want to come off. It gets caught. It gets caught. That little guy right there, that little piece. So what you want to do is take a pick tool and put it like right in the lip and pop it up. So as you squeeze and wiggle, right, that little pick tool right there, it pops it up and just kind of pry up. You don't really need to even push. You can try to push like that and try to pry here. It doesn't really work very well. What you want to do is you want to like hook it right there, right, that little tab. This tab right here, as you can see coming out, you want to take that pick and pry that up as you squeeze in this and pull out. Came off fairly easily that way. Yeah, like everybody says, that back one is kind of a bitch. But you know, once you have, you know, another 1.5 inches to get your hands back there, I was able to take tools, you know, on each side. The best part was I was able to feel the tool, so I could feel like when I put the pick tool in my right hand and I was trying to pry, I could feel and kind of, you know, maneuver it. Where is it? I can maneuver it like, you know, you know, because you're going blind, you really can't see shit. There's that, and the tools, the best tools that I used, I bought a whole plethora of tools because I didn't want to have to go back. I figured I'd overbuy and return, which I did. I returned almost all my shit. Tools that I bought from Harbor Freight. The ones that came in the most handy was, hands down, the stubble ratchet, the fine tooth double socket. You know, that one, the ratchet itself, you know, it's a stubby one. I'll put that back later, but yeah, it's a stubby one. It just, yeah, it's half the size, it's short, and it has 3/8 and 1/4 on both sides, but it's the fine tooth, which you're going to want back there, and that came in really good. I got that at AutoZone and Shucks. Let's see if I can show you. I'll show you in a second. Oh, actually, I showed it to you earlier in the video. That was my #1 tool, and the other ones were the wobble extensions and the tiny, like, yeah, there's little adapters, right? You know, they go from like 3/8 to 1/4, shit like that, but they're like a knuckle on them. They're like wobble, I guess, extenders, not extensions, wobble, you know, knuckles, little, whatever the fuck it is, you know what I'm saying? Yeah, because sometimes, you know, you couldn't get just the extension, wobble extension wouldn't work, so you'd have to use the knuckle 2 with the extension, or vice versa. And also, in the back 3, when you're dropping into the spark plug chambers, a lot of times I had to, you know, just drop the socket down, and then I'd have to put the extender on, and then I'd have to put the ratchet on. So you might have to do it in stages. You can't just like go all the way through. Most of them you could. I think only one of them I had to do that with, where I had to like break them apart, put one at a time. And one thing that'll save you a lot of time is on your spark plug socket, make sure you get a new one which has that rubber insert that grips onto the socket or the spark plug when you lift out. Because mine was old and it like broke apart, so I had to dick around trying to get the spark plugs out of the chambers even after I took them off. One thing that also helped was the back clips. Don't take the clips off first. It's harder that way, I thought. I was struggling with that. When I unbolted the actual coil, I let the clip on, so I pulled the coil up, then I could swivel the coil, right? So then I could turn it, and then I could pop the clips off easier that way. So that's something that nobody else mentioned. That'll help you and save you a lot of time. Outside of that, man, it wasn't that hard. It probably took me, I was working pretty slow, and I didn't, you know, I wasn't sure if I would be able to do it, and the whole rocking thing was the rocking thing was not that hard, just basically, but anyway, it took me about 3 hours, 2 to 3 hours. But I was working slow, drinking a beer, you know, taking breaks to make the video, shit like that. I wasn't really pressed for time, so now I could probably do it. Now that I know the tools that I need, and I know what I'm going to run into trouble with is those clips, and I know how to keep them on and unbolt the coil, lift the coil up so you can swivel the coil. You know those little secrets now. I could probably do it. I could probably do it in about an hour and a half, you know. So good luck, guys. Definitely remove this though. That gave me like that much, that dog bone. move that, if you're gonna do the rocking technique, which I would do, unless you're keen on moving that cow, then again though, if the cow is not that hard to move and it saves you, you know, you gotta weigh it out, you know. Good luck. Yeah. Any questions, leave them in the comments, and yeah, have fun.
I lost all concept of reality and time. It was quite spiritual, and I wasn't really scared though, because I knew it was just the drugs. So I was more worried that I couldn't find my way home, and it took me like 8 hours to which should have taken me like 20 minutes, but I made it. And I was high for like 2 days. Kind of started to get worried after a while, because I was like, am I ever gonna not be high again? And so yeah, that was my experience. I don't recommend taking that much LSD. It's probably unhealthy. I don't think I've been right ever since. I got like this tick now. Use your fucking mind, man. Walking down, and this hippie guy comes up to me, and I don't remember his name, but he was high as fuck. He's like, "You want a fucking trip tonight, man?" He's like, "Open your mouth." And stupidly I did, and he had an eyedropper, and he squirted a bunch of fucking acid in my mouth. Like, I could feel it. I could feel the shit running down the back of my throat. And I was like, dude, what the fuck?